Welcome back, viewers at home. Join us as we delve into an opportunity to experience Limpho Aishah Letlala, whose powerful story in person, and it was covered actually by Covered Magazine's upcoming Cocktails and Crowns event, now which is going to be taking place on the October 27th at the Serene Garden in Rivonia. Not only will you have the chance to hear firsthand from Aisha about her journey of healing and empowerment, but also you'll enjoy a flower crown workshop, a beautiful hands-on activity to represent the strength and beauty that can emerge from even the toughest of times. Assalamu alaikum, Aisha, and jazakallah so much for joining us this evening.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa ta'ala barakatuh. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, how are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm good. I'm great.
Now, just to, get our viewers more informed about the event in particular, I want to know from you what inspired you to collaborate with Covered Magazine for this event? And can you tell us more about the Flower Crown workshop?
Yeah, I think I was just in my own season blooming, and I saw an article where they wanted somebody who would share their story. And I wrote to them an intro about my season and transitioning through my heartbreak and my journey and my falls. So then I got chosen to be a cover girl, which was amazing because it was me telling my story and being able to inspire other people through my flaws and my my misfortunes, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, do you have any?
So the flower crowns, it's this the theme for their September magazine was blooming. You
Mhm.
know, it was spring, rebirthing, starting afresh. So it was the flower crown to just crown you in a blooming season where everything is just pastel, all flowery, all mushy and nice. So that is part of what is going to be happening at the Irish Garden, where Fawzi Posey and Covered Magazine are collaborating together to have the experience where women can make their own crowns and be able to take them home and just be like, ah, the rebirth queens of the spring.
Now, do you have any special hopes or expectation for this event in particular, and how do you envision it impacting those who will be attending it?
I think for me personally, it's where you just get out of your comfort space and be able to be in a space where your journey empowers the next person. And as women, we just go through so much in our own corners, and only when somebody relates, you'll understand that, no, man, I've been through this. So it takes somebody to be able to not be shy about telling their story
Yeah.
as it is, as raw, as broken as it is. I realized that I have inspired people by being honest and authentic about my story and my journey. And I do hope that other women can inspire others to be able to openly, be broken and be naked and be bare and accept each other with our flaws. So for me, that is what I envision about this, and for people to actually get in depth. The cover story and the story was in the Covered Magazine, but it would be a one-on-one where people can get to sit down with me and be able to ask me questions, and I'll be willing to tell it all. It's a tell-all event.
Zero secrets. It's a very safe space. Now speaking on
Very
cocktail
safe space.
now speaking on cocktails and crowns, what will their ticket include? I mean, you've just shared in terms of what they will be experiencing when attending the event, and I think every woman wants that safe space where they can either share their story or just get yeah, a voice telling them that, you know what, you're not the only one going through whatever hardship you're faced with. What will they also
Mhm.
be getting from the tickets?
Okay, the ticket price are going for 370, and that is getting the whole equipment of the flower making crown, and they'll be able to take it home. And there will also be a complimentary drink that will be offered with that, but also just a networking space and being able to meet other women in in different spaces and in different fields to be able to spend a day with sisters.
This is quite amazing. Now, just coming back to you yourself, Aisha, and I think you shared that, you know what, you've had your fair share of hardships and you're willing to share even with the attendees of this event in particular. What do you hope from your story will drive to, the attendees that will be attending, as well as, for your hopes for the future? Where to from here?
I think my story also inspires me every day because it kind of brings out the different version of me in terms of growth. So part of how I dealt with my journey was starting a campaign that's called Find Your Orange, and it was to encourage people to be kind. So it's a kindness initiative campaign because in my toughest moments, the kindness of people, strangers, was what pulled me through. So I intentionally made that effort. Can Allah just make it possible for people to see the grace of God in my life and what I live every day? So that is what I campaign for, to be kindness ambassador. And hopefully that is what we're growing on, because we have events happening around. We have kindness initiatives. We have the actual Find Your Orange event. We had one in August in Joburg. We're actually launching our first one in Durban and spreading some orange and kindness in Durban. So hopefully it's a movement that I'd like to spread across the country, and would like to collaborate with other organizations and women to be able to remind people just to be kind. It takes nothing to be kind to somebody. Even a smile is an act of charity. Kindness is the biggest thing of all. May our kindness be aligned in what Allah wants for us.
Yeah. Now, Aisha, I see that you're a woman who is full of so much, experience, and if I can say so, wisdom in that sense. What would be your words of advice to women who, struggle with seeking and asking for help? Even not even help as in, we're looking at gender-based violence and somebody is trying out to seek help, but sometimes in the little things to say, you know what, today I'm not okay and I just want to rest. I need help, and they even struggle to say such words. What words of advice would you share, particularly considering that this event that you are hosting in collaboration with Covered Magazine is all about, letting us share our stories and inspiring other individuals out there?
I think firstly, with women, we're just too hard on ourselves. Be kind to yourself. The first thing I learned for me was to give the same kindness to myself first before I take it out to other people. So when I started being kind to myself, I started loving myself enough to say, asking for help is not a form of weakness. There's always that person that Allah will send in your life to be, a guardian helper, a destiny helper for you. That we're just too in our own spaces to be able to ask for help. And for me, that is pride. And pride just destroys everything, because it deprives you of the chance to heal and grow. Yes, there are spaces which are not safe, but there is a lot of spaces that we can create as women to be there for each other. Like, be your sister's keeper. It's quite important, and it's something that I've learned, that a lot of times strangers were really nice to me, even more than the people that I needed when I was going through a hard time. And that is what I advocate for, is to be kind to anyone without any expectation. Love everyone without any expectation of what they will do to you. You might be a saving grace for someone. Just smile at somebody that's going through a bad day. That smile will remind them that somebody cares. Constantly just be able to say, allow yourself to be broken. And that is somebody coming into your life, as Allah placing somebody to be able to assist you in that phase and the season that you're going through.
Now, before I move on to you providing us with more details on, buying the tickets, there's something that you really said, being your sister's keeper. And I think I would like for you to just elaborate that for us, because at times you find that mostly when people say being your sister's keeper, it entails keeping, their secrets, or somebody's telling you, what, I'm going through this, and just you being a listening ear. But to you, what does it mean to being a sister's keeper, and how can you be your sister's keeper in a way that really, truly positively speaks to the betterment of your sister?
I think we confuse sisterhood with being buddy buddy. Like, a sisterhood is something that it's farj, I can say. You've got to be a sister to anyone, whether Muslim or non-Muslim. You've got to be that person where somebody can just allow themselves to be broken to you. I find myself sometimes, a stranger would just tell me their biggest problem, and there's nothing I can do sometimes but just handing in and just giving the ear. So with me, sisterhood is just allowing yourself to be somebody's comfort in time of need. You don't have to own people, you don't have to own friendships. You can be there for somebody in a particular season. So I think the biggest flaw we have is we want people to be there forever. We forget that everything is seasonal, and you needed to be there for that particular person in that season that they're going through, and release them and move on. And somebody's like, there's a pay forward thing. So when you do something, somebody will do it, in future for that particular person. You doing something, you do it for the pleasure of Allah, not to fulfill you. Do kindness not as charity, but as your way of life, like salah and everything that we do.
Amazing. That was quite powerful, if I can say so myself. But coming back to the tickets in question, can you tell us where can we buy the tickets? How much? As you mentioned, it was, I believe, 400 and something, if I'm not mistaken. And when is the event, as well as the time around when the event is meant to start?
Okay, the tickets are 370.
Okay.
The venue is the Irish Garden in Rivonia. So the tickets are available at Covered Magazine. You've got to call and book, and the number is 082 448 651. And the times is 10:30, 4:11. So it's going to be amazing. We're looking forward to hosting all the amazing ladies.
Are there any special guest speakers there for viewers to look forward to, listening to or interacting with?
The cover girl, of course, so everybody's willing to. I'm the special guest. It's overwhelming. It's nice, but I'm really thankful to Allah to be in this space where I can get to be there and be the vision of, broken and rebuilt, restoration. Give people hope that, we can get out of a dark place.
Now, I know earlier in the intro of the show, I did say, Covered Magazine is quite a niche publication that focuses on modest communities. And seeing your relationship with, your experience with Covered Magazine led to a beautiful collaboration. In your view, how would you best describe Covered Magazine and its work, or rather its impact in society?
One, I'm a very old school person. I wish it's a magazine that I could actually have, and it's not just an online publication.
Yeah.
And I do hope, inshallah, in the future they could be able to have publications where we could read. I love reading physical magazines or books. I'm not a digital person, so it has been amazing. I think it's the growth that women meet, because they meet women of all different aspects or angles in one space. You get to be young, you've got to be Muslim, you've got to be niche, you've got to be fashionable. They bring all that all in one, and I think that is the most amazing thing, because it's relatable to the era and the years that we're living in.
Amazing, amazing. Aisha, before I let you go, if you can say any words of closing to our viewers at home.
Kindness comes full circle. I think I'll always advocate for kindness so much, because that's what I live for, and I encourage people to really be kindness ambassadors. So remember that whatever that you do now, your kids will reap it, or your kids' kids. So kindness does really come full circle. Be kind. Remember to be nice, and let's keep praying for each other. Maybe be our sisters' keepers. So I'll see you on the 27th, hoping that we'll be able to get to meet.
Jazakallah so much, Aisha, for joining us this evening.
Jazakallah so much for having me.
Viewers at home, that was my guest sharing in the amazing event that I believe you do not want to miss, because as women, as if I can use her words, we go through a lot, and it's quite amazing being in spaces where you can, get that refreshing conversation where you can vent without sounding like you're complaining, you can vent without sounding like you're nagging, and you can get even, sometimes tips and tricks, because as ladies, we always have a solution to whatever we are faced with. So make sure that you do turn out to that event and enjoy yourself. And that was Limpho Aishah Letlala, who was sharing in on what to expect, and also partially her experience, her personal experiences and encounters with Covered Magazine. But that's where we close it off for now. Let's head over to a net break. See you when we come back.